Hello, everyone. How are you? Hey, know what happened on? Not here. What happened? This is my favorite Survivor Series matches and moments throughout the career, and my least favorites. Everybody knows if you watched wrestling back in the days of Survivor Series, the very first ever Survivor Series, everybody talks about the match of Hulk Hogan, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, Ken Patera, Bam Bam Bigelow, and Don the Rock Morocco against the team of Andre the Giant, One Man Gang, King Kong Bundy, Ravish Rick Rude, and Bush Reed. Everybody talks about that being the favorite Survivor Series match for the very first ever Survivor Series. That's not my favorite. My favorite was the 10-man team one. We had the Hart Foundation teaming with Demolition, the Ruzon Brothers, even though they're the first team gone, the Head Shrinkers, against the team of the British Bulldogs, Dave Boy Smith, Dynamite Kid, the Killer Bees, Young Stallions, Paul Roma, and the other guy. Strike Force of Tino Santana and Rick Martel. Man, just those tag teams and what they could do with it was awesome. That was like a 49-minute match worth watching. I was glued to that television screen, and I bought the best of the Survivor Series anthology stuff from my good friend Jody Graves. I just rewatched that recently, like a couple weeks ago, and I was again hooked to that match. Just like seeing like Bret Hart and Jim the Neville Neidhart, we know that finisher they do when they hold one guy up and the other guy hits him off the ropes. But to see Bret Hart do that with Smash for Demolition, to see like the Strike Force cleaning house, but then teaming up with the Killer Bees and mixing it up with high flying maneuvers, like stuff you will not see, like you get a chance to see that was cool. And that match, the Young Stallions of Paul Roma and the other guy, they got a lot of praise for like just getting their asses kicked the whole match, but kept kicking out. Like they didn't get no eliminations, maybe one. But the rest of the match, they just got the butts handed to them, but they kept kicking out and surviving. I showed how much endurance they could take, how much punishment they could be dished on. But man, like Demolition, man, just big fan, love Demolition, and just seeing them be the team captains for their team, and just the team they had was awesome. Like seeing Axel Smash team up with the Head Shrinkers and the damage they could do, that was awesome. That was my number one favorite. Always be my very first favorite Survivor Series match. Up. Then they did one the year afterwards, where they mixed up some teams. They added the Rockers to it, the Brainbusters. But that match didn't quite have the star factor like the very first one did. One of my least favorite Survivor Series matches, all that is every match Andre the Giant was in. I liked Andre the Giant when he was good, but this was when his back was hurting, his legs were hurting. It was hard for him to move. And they got putting him in the matches for the ticket sales and the star factor. And he always kept purposely get counted out like 29 seconds against Ultimate Warrior, one of them. Or he got disqualified when Axel Smash and him fought outside the ring. And all three got disqualified. Like, because Andre the Giant back then couldn't do nothing. He couldn't do nothing. So to me, that they should have put him out in the match, or have him be the team captain, but he didn't have to wrestle. Like the match with Jerry the King Lawler as team captain against the Hart family. Jerry the King Lawler never wrestled in that match. He was outside as the manager. He was the team captain for his team. Like Andre the Giant, they could have done that with him and have somebody else be on his team, or put someone else on the team to build their career up. I know Andre the Giant won the very first Survivor Series pay-per-view when he last eliminated Bam Bam Bigelow. But during that match, he was maybe in it for like 5 minutes when it's like a 40-minute match. You know what I mean? That's my least favorite moments was Andre the Giant being on the other teams, because that was when he couldn't do it no more. His back and legs were hurting him. One of my other favorite WrestleMania Survivor Series moments. Sorry there. Had to be the very first ever Raw versus SmackDown one. That was cool. I remember that one. That was the team of JBL, Rey Mysterio, Bobby Lashley, Randy Orton, and Batista against Raw, Shawn Michaels, Chris Masters, Kalisto, Kane the Big Show. That was cool because it had a mix of star power people like Shawn Michaels, Rey Mysterio, Kane the Big Show, Batista. And then you had people like Kalisto, Chris Masters, Bobby Lashley, like new and up and comers. Like JBL, this one he was he was doing a singles run, and now as part of the Acolytes tag team. I love that one because that showed like Kalisto what he can do, and Chris Masters what he can do, and that one started Randy Orton's Survivor Series legacy moments of being the sole survivors. Because every time, starting in 2005 onwards, when Randy Orton was on a team, he always was the sole survivor. He did that for like 4 or 5 years in a row. He was the sole survivor for his team. Like, that's a good career highlight right there in Survivor Series history, to be a sole survivor 4 or 5 years running in a row. That's the very first one he did. One of my other favorite Survivor Series matchups moments was not even a traditional Survivor Series elimination match. This one was when the American Badass The Undertaker took on Kurt Angle for the World Wrestling Federation Championship. Because that's when Undertaker beat Kurt Angle to a pulp. Just whooped his ass like a government mule. And Kurt Angle would keep dishing it back. And that's when he got respect backstage afterwards, he said, from The Undertaker was in that match. And that's when Kurt Angle always used to go underneath the ring to try to go out the other side and trick his opponents. And this was the moment where Undertaker was smart, but Kurt Angle was smarter, and he tricked The Undertaker, because when Undertaker pulled Kurt Angle out from underneath the outside of the ring, it was Kurt Angle's brother, Burt Angle. They debuted of him, and the referee not counting the free. Undertaker saying, "What the hell?" And then there was 2 Angles in the ring, Olympic slam from Kurt from behind for the 1-2-3. Just seeing the look of shock on the American Badass's face, like, what the hell just happened? And then seeing on stage 2 Angles celebrating. And Burt Angle looks just like his brother in the face. That was what was cool. That was one of my other favorite moments. Some of my least favorite Survivor Series matches were the matches that was comedy. Like Dorothy the Clown's team against Jerry the King Lawler's team. Of Dorothy the Clown and the Little Clowns. Against Jerry King Lawler, Sneezy, Weezy, Greasy. Like, that was the shittiest match. Like, oh, when that's on the DVD set, I'm going to watch, I'm going to skip it. Because it's terrible. And everybody likes it because of the comedy, but I'm not a comedy fan. Survivor Series elimination matches ain't supposed to be for comedy. It's supposed to be for hard-hitting, kicking ass, taking names, and be the sole survivors for your team to win it. That and the one where Dorothy the Clown had the Man on a Mission, Mabel, later on to become known as Viscera, Mo, and the Bushwhackers with the clown face paint. Like, they took on a team, and that was just comedy. Like, they eliminated that whole team and had a clean sweep just for doing, like, the flower, water spray paint, the face, the buzzer handshake comedy shit. Like, no, that don't work for me. And the one where Shawn Michaels and he had stupid free nights against the Hart family. People talk about that one as a cool one. I don't think it was cool. It was just a slow pace, dragged on. I don't know who the Knights were, but they were terrible wrestlers dressed up. And like that's when they were trying to build Shawn Michaels as a single superstar in 1995. That's not the way to do it. But putting him on a team with nobodies. Like he ended up struggling in that match because his teammates sucked. The Hart family, that's the start where Britt and Owen shoved. That's the start of the split of the Hart family there. One of my other favorite Survivor Series matches was the team of Jake the Snake Roberts, Super 5, Jimmy Snuka, and the Rockers, or Mike Jannetty and Shawn Michaels, against the team of Rick the Model Martel, Power and Gloria, Paul Roma, and Hercules, and Warlord. What I liked about this one was this became the first ever team in history of Survivor Series, Rick the Model Martel's team, to win it without losing a member. They go on the history books as the very first team ever back then in Survivor Series history throughout the years as the first team to not to lose a member and eliminate the other 4 members of a team. That was impressive. And yeah, they did a handful of tights. But the rest of the time, it was like they earned that match. Jake the Snake Roberts, any team you put him on, he's going to give it his A+ effort, that guy. And I remember that one match where I forget who he was partners with, but it came down to him and Bruce the Barber Beefcake. And they took it right to Andre the Giant's team and ended up winning it. Because it was like 5-on-2, and they ended up winning it for that team. That was cool. Yeah, so I always picked Jake the Snake Roberts for being a member of your team back then. Because he would whoop ass and take names. Same as Demolition. One of my favorite Survivor Series matches had to be the one with the Alliance versus Team WWF, where it was Undertaker, American Badass, Taker Kane, The Rock, Chris Jericho, and Stone. Who the heck was it? The Rock, Jericho, Kane, and The Undertaker. And they took on the Alliance, Booker T, Shane McMahon, Rob Van Dam, Kurt Angle, and Stone Cold. Who the heck was the other person? I want to say it may have been the Big Show, but I might be wrong. Let me know below in the comment section, folks. If you remember that one between Team Alliance, Team WWF. Was Big Show the 5th member of that team, or was it somebody else? I'm starting to think it was Big Show, but I could be wrong. What I liked about that one was, like, just the star-studded superstars in that match. And people back then were thinking, like, Shane McMahon was in it. Yeah, but that was when Shane McMahon was good. And he lasted quite a while in that Survivor Series. And, like, he didn't stay out in the ring and just not get tagged. He was mixing it up with Big Undertaker. He was mixing up with Chris Jericho. He was taking it to The Rock for a while. Like, he earned his stripes in that match. And that was the one where Kurt Angle betrayed the Alliance. Everybody thought it would be Stone Cold Steve Austin. But it was Kurt Angle. He was the mole for Team WWF. And they wanted to keep the company intact during the whole invasion storyline. That one I liked. And also I liked in that Survivor Series during that time was the Battle Royal, where the winner got immunity from the other show and Test won that one. That was a good Battle Royal. One of my other favorite Survivor Series matches has to be this one. Again, isn't 5-on-5. This was a triple threat featuring NXT's Roderick Strong, Raw, SmackDown's AJ Styles, I forget which one he was on during the time, and Shinsuke Nakamura, who was on the other show. That match stole the show for me in that pay-per-view in 2019. Because it was a wow factor. And I was a fan growing up watching Ring of Honor wrestling and seeing AJ Styles and Roderick Strong in that business. And where they came in WWE at that time. And to wrestle against someone famous like Shinsuke Nakamura, they went toe-to-toe. They tore the house down. And what I liked about that was, like, after that, they had the 5-on-5 man one where Team Raw against Team SmackDown against Team NXT. The moment where Roman Reigns from SmackDown, Braun Strowman from Raw, and Keith Lee from NXT got in the ring, like, the fans were still chanting about the triple threat match between those other 3 guys before this match started. Like, they were chanting, like, this is boring. Like, if they're chanting those 3 big guys, and they're chanting that's boring, and they said the other match was awesome, that's telling you something right there. One of my other least favorite moments and matches throughout Survivor Series history is every time SmackDown took on Team Raw in the man's one. SmackDown won the very first one after the brand split it ended, and they came back again in 2016 when it was Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton on the team against Team Raw. Bray Wyatt and Orton were the sole survivors for that team. And that since then, in 2016, SmackDown has not won any of them. Except the time that in 2019 when Roman Reigns was on it. That's why. But besides that, every other team, time Raw, like 2017, Team Raw Queen Sweep SmackDown's man's team. 2018, Queen Sweep again. Like, the SmackDown guys would do some matches, moves, but they couldn't eliminate no one. And throughout, and up until now, it's like, every time I don't bet money on SmackDown anymore. Because during Raw versus SmackDown since 2016, SmackDown loses every time, and they got the star power, the most fame, like the cooler wrestlers during the time period. It's like that one there where I have a Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Xavier Woods, Jay Uso when he was singles, and Baron Corbin against like Raw's team. Seth Rollins let himself get super kicked and counted out, then be eliminated. Kevin Owens was quickly eliminated. Like everybody quickly got eliminated. Like that's crap to me. Like, so it needs to give SmackDown the chance to show Raw, like, hey, we can put on some good matches here, you know. One of my other favorite Survivor Series matches and moments will have to be the team one where it was the team of the Dudley Boys and the Right to Censor. No, Edge and Christian, the Right to Censor of the Good Father and Bull Buchanan against the Dudleys and the Hardys. As back in, those three teams were always put on a great show. Then you had Right to Censor thrown in it. And people were like, well, that's going to be the crap. But it wasn't. They show they can hang with those three tag teams, the Good Father and Bull Buchanan. And just seeing like how Edge lost early on, how Christian was like kicking butt for his team. Like, man, Christian in that match, he gave it an A+ effort. He took it to the other four guys on that team. One of my other least favorite moments in matches of Survivor Series history. There was one, oh yeah, this one. This one, oh, it was terrible. Yeah, Sergeant Slaughter, Orient Express, and a Russian, I forget his name, against Tito Santana, the Bushwhackers, and the Kia Koloff. Tito Santana at 30 seconds eliminated 2 people. And then Sergeant Slaughter, within 3 minutes, eliminated Nakia Koloff and the Bushwhackers. It was a 14-minute match, and the last 10 minutes was down to Sergeant Slaughter and Tito Santana. I fell asleep watching that match. I rewatched it. I ended up falling asleep again because of how bad Sergeant Slaughter was back then. And just, oh my God, it's hard to watch. Like, seeing those fast eliminations and like a 10-minute drag-out, snail-paced match those two put on. Tito Santana ended up winning it. My other least favorite matches was they call it the Ultimate Survivor, where they did it one time only. It was when they took winners of each team throughout the night would compete on one final matchup. So on one side you had Teddy DiBiase. He was the sole survivor for his team, and he had the team of Rick the Ball Martel, Hercules, Paul Roma, and Warlord. So it's like those 5 against Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Tito Santana. Tito Santana eliminated Warlord within 30 seconds. Then Tito Santana eliminated somebody else. I forget who it was on that team. Paul Roma. That's it. And then he got eliminated. And then Teddy DiBiase had Hercules on his team. And they got that, and Rick the Ball Martel, they got their asses kicked by Hulk Hogan. Ultimate Warrior stood outside the ring and just kept going like this. He never got tagged in order in the match. Hogan eliminated 2 of those guys, and then he tagged in Ultimate Warrior for like Warrior just to get in to do that running splash on Teddy DiBiase to pin him. I mean Hercules. Sorry, it was Hercules to pin him. Like, I didn't like that because like the other team had 5 guys against 3. And just seeing how Tito Santana was quickly eliminated, how like they never used the 5-on-2 advantage, know what I mean? And how Hulk Hogan single-handedly cleaned house. I didn't like that. Guys, those guys with the team, also those guys were well rested because they wrestled the first 2 matches of the night. So they had like an hour and a half to be well rested, while Hogan and Warrior and Tito Santana didn't have that long to rest up, where Ultimate Warrior did. But then to see that happen, like how they kept losing and losing, like, you guys made history, like Rick Martel's team, for a clean sweep. You had 45 minutes to, like, roughly to relax, and you're just getting handed to you by Hulk Hogan. Like, it didn't make sense. Like, that's why I didn't like about that one. There was no sense made in that one. They debuted The Undertaker in 1990 Survivor Series on Team DiBiase's team. That was cool. And Roddy Piper on commentary. Roddy Piper was like, "Will you see the size of this man?" And then, like, he just, like, power driver Coco Beware, took out Dusty Rhodes, cleaned house, took out Jim the Neville Neidhart, and it came down to Bret Hart against Undertaker, Ted DiBiase, Honky Tonk Man, and Greg the Hammer Valentine when they were known as Rhythm and Blues. Bret Hart, Undertaker got counted out. Bret Hart and almost wound up winning it. That was huge to see Bret Hart go like 15 minutes against 4 other guys and kick ass and almost win. It was awesome. And that is just the debut of The Undertaker. I like Roddy Piper. He's like, he may be tall, he may be strong, but he's dumb as a bag of bricks, he said, because he got himself counted out when Dusty Rhodes was only eliminated. That was cool. I like that one. Yeah, there's a lot of moments. I can keep going on and on. I remember the moment one where Shane McMahon was the game representing Team SmackDown against Team Raw of Triple H, Seth Rollins, Braun Strowman, 2 other guys. Shane McMahon yet again took it to that team. He put Braun Strowman through the announce table with top of elbow drop. Braun Strowman got in, and Shane McMahon just tagged himself back in and went right after Braun Strowman. Like, Shane McMahon, I know people out there don't like him because of the matches, but in Survivor Series, those 2 Survivor Series matches he had, the one against Team Raw there, and the one he had when he was a part of Team Alliance, he took it to the talent. Like, he took it to them. Like, he didn't stay outside the ring apron and ended up winning it without wrestling. Like, he earned his stripes in those Survivor Series matches. There you have it, folks. Let me know below what you thought. Like, what was your favorite Survivor Series matches and moments? What were your least favorite ones? Me and my dad will be watching the Survivor Series 1992 one. There's a knock at the door. I'm the only one home. I gotta go see who it is. So stay safe, everybody. Too sweet. Bye.